there, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Anita Dufi. I'm a certified coach, blogger, and YouTuber, and I am on a mission to undo the culture of silence and help people who have been oppressed or silenced find their voice, rise above their pain, and step into freedom and purpose. And I also seek to create awareness and educate on topics like sexual violence and mental health. As a survivor in these things myself, I share tips that have helped me and those who have trusted me with their stories, while also unveiling the things that fuel these issues. And so yes, there's something for everyone to learn and to benefit from. So go ahead, hit the subscribe button and push the little bell thingy so that you know every time there's a new video. So without much ado, let us jump right into today's video. So today I will be sharing 7 ways parents can protect their children from child sexual abuse, as some would call it CSA. So first of all, before I talk about the 7 things, I just want to say to parents that, I don't know if you know this, but did you know that over 90% of child sexual abusers were known to the kids, people they should have felt safe with, and 23% of those people, who were known to the kids were kids themselves. So anybody under the age of 18. And this is unfortunately very prevalent and common. And one more fun fact, maybe not so fun, but one more fact is that approximately 1 in 6 boys and 1 in 4 girls are sexually abused before the age of 18. And this is research according to the Center for Disease Control. So I know this all sounds very gloomy and loony, but don't be scared. That's why I'm here today, and I'm here to help you by showing you 7 ways that you can protect your child from child sexual abuse, because trust me, you do not want your child to be the one in these numbers. So yeah, let's get right in. So tip number 1 to protect your child from sexual abuse. Number 1, talk about body parts. And one question that I often get from this is, how early? As soon as your child can talk, as soon as your child can understand things and words, and as soon as you feel comfortable talking to them, all right, as early as your child can understand you. And you start by naming the body parts rightly, all right? Call them what they are. Vagina is vagina, penis is penis, breast is breast, all right? No pee-pee thing, no wham-wham, no mimi, just as cute as those things are, I think it's time to cut them off, because the importance of this is that should there be any concerns, you want to make sure that your child does know what they're talking about, because they're naming the right body parts to you. So vagina is vagina, penis is penis, breast is breast, armpit is armpit. Don't get all cute with the names anymore. So name the right body parts. Number 2, talk about private body parts. So while you're talking about the different body parts, and it's a very fun way to actually teach your children early on about their different body parts. But as they start to get older, you want to help them understand that there are private body parts and there are non-private body parts. All right. And basically, you also want to let them know that no one can see them naked or see their private parts. Private parts are private to you. Nobody's supposed to see them. Nobody's supposed to touch them. And they are not also allowed to touch other people's private parts. I get the feeling that sometimes we tell children no one is supposed to touch them, but unfortunately we forget to tell them they're not supposed to touch anyone as well. And predators sometimes know this, and so they tell the kids, well, I'm okay with you touching me if you're not okay with me touching you. And that in itself is child sexual abuse. So you want to let them know that it's a 2-way street. You don't touch nobody's private parts, and nobody touches your private parts. Only mommy and daddy are allowed to touch your private parts when they're helping you clean. So even daddy and mommy are in no, they cannot touch your private parts if there is no need for them to, in terms of maybe cleaning or bathing. You want to help them understand that. Another key thing about private parts you want to help them understand is that no one can take pictures of their private parts. Neither can anyone send them pictures of their own private parts. So it is important, because online pornography is very rampant, and there are people who are sick enough to actually source for children's body parts and excite themselves on those. I know it's a sick world, but you and I can do something to protect ourselves and our children, and that is why I am communicating this to you. So, tip number three to protect your child from child sexual abuse is teach your children it's okay to say no. No, no, no. I am from a culture where kids telling adults no is almost unheard of, but I think it has hurt us more than helped us. Because when kids are in a situation where an adult is telling them to do something wrong, they know in their conscious that it's wrong, but they're afraid to say no because they don't want to come off as rude or disrespectful. Our culture, in that sense, is not helping us. So you need to teach your children to know that it's okay for them to say no. It's okay to say no so that your kids don't hang that over their heads. And this would also mean that they learn how to set boundaries. If you don't want someone in your personal space, teach your kids to let them know that it's okay to let the person know that they're encroaching their personal space. Setting boundaries is not a bad thing. So overall, teach your children to set boundaries. And one of the ways you set boundaries is also learning to say no when something uncomfortable is happening to you. So you could tell them maybe something like, even mommy and daddy, and I mentioned earlier, can maybe touch your private parts to help you clean, or if you need to cream, but no one else, not friends, not aunties, not uncles, not teachers. And even if you think that there are people who should be in charge of you, it's okay to say no if they're touching you in a way that makes you uncomfortable, and you let mommy and daddy know right away. So teach your children the importance of saying no and let them know that it's okay to say no, especially in situations that are uncomfortable for them or feel, like an abuse. So tip number four, to protect your children from child sexual abuse. Number four is reassure your kids that they won't get into any trouble by coming to you with anything. Anything under the sun. Teach your children to know that they can come to you. I know many people say, my job is not to be friends with my kids. My job is to parent them and discipline them. And that's great. It is true, because you also have to model boundaries to them, and you might need to model it in your relationship with your children. But I think there's something a little bit wrong with that thinking, because then you become nothing but an autocrat to your children. You also want to be your children's friends, and that's important if they're going to trust you to come to you with anything. You want to have a relationship with your children that when anything happens, you're the number one person they think to run to when they're in trouble. And I mean, after God, that is, of course, after God. All right, but but you want to make sure that you're the one person that they can trust to come to you. It's heartbreaking when children feel like they can't trust their parents with information. Please, if that's you and your child, work to correct that relationship. Reassure them that they won't get into any trouble coming to you. A lot of parents, just start to yell when they hear certain things. I mean, don't get me wrong, I am learning this too. All right, I must tell you the truth. I am learning, because something else just goes overdrive and you just want to yell and react based on the emotions that you're feeling at the time. But it's important that your kids know that they can trust you. One tip I'll share that I recently thought of and I've been trying out with my kid, one of my kids, is I say, if it's something that you feel it's really important to you and you're not sure how I would react, start off by telling me, please don't yell, but I really need to tell you this. And we've tried that. I've had one of those please don't yell conversations, and yeah, it kind of felt good, so that might help someone, but let them know that they can come to you with anything. Okay, tip number 5, talk about secrets with your child. Not that keep secrets from them or tell them it's okay to keep secrets, but let them know that, with mommy and daddy, there are no secrets. All right. And one of the things that I know is that perpetrators thrive on silence through secrecy. And they can do this either by threatening your child that they would kill the child or hurt the child, or worse still, that they would hurt the family. So let them know that with mommy and daddy, there are no secrets. And you know, and even if they're threatened with violence, let them know that they can still come to you. All right. Those are things that, you don't just have a one time sit down conversation. These are things that as you go through life, as you go through days, you see something, you're watching a movie, you kind of chip it in, and kind of like consistently over time, just put it in there so that it becomes part of their thinking process, and it becomes, it goes into their subconscious, and maybe even their consciousness, right? And so that when they hear someone start to use certain languages, like, this stays between you and I, they remember what mommy and daddy has said, and they realize that we don't keep secrets from mommy and daddy. All right. Reassure them that, no matter what anybody says, they should not have to keep secrets about their body parts for any reason. If there's any trouble, they should come to you. Tip number 6 is have code words. And this is very important for people who maybe your kids, go out on play dates, or they go out on sleepovers and whatnot. This is very important for them, for you, because sometimes you don't know what's going on. And one thing I'll tell you is that when I was about 11 or 12, I used to go to this house where my dad would have us go whenever he traveled. And when I was getting abused there, there were times that I'll be awake in the middle of the night and, wishing to just go back home. But I was too scared because it was dark, and I didn't want to be out at that time. There were no phones even at that time, unfortunately. But if there was, and there was a code word between my dad and I, maybe I would have been able to pick up the phone, call him and say, hey, this is the situation. So here are some examples of what you can use as code word with your kids. So let's say they're at a person's house and something is going on, they're not comfortable. You can teach your children to say, if something's happening, you're not comfortable, just let the person know, I kind of miss my mom and dad. Can I just give them a quick call? Is that okay? Right? And they call you, they can say maybe something along the lines of, I really miss you, mommy. And you both know that I really miss you means come get me right away. Right? You both know that that's what that means, right? And so immediately you hear that, you have to leave everything you're doing and go get your child, or whatever it is, all right? But it's important that, you use code words. People have used this with their kids to protect them from stranger danger. And I think that it can work in this instance too. Tip number 7, do not deny your kids things that they love. I must warn that this does not mean that, you should indulge your kids in any and everything that they want. No, that's not what I'm saying here. But I'm trying to help you understand that some kids have been lured by abusers, by perpetrators, with candies, with food, with phones, with cartoons, with pretty much anything that, they felt denied of, within their house. Now, it's okay to have your house rules and help your kids understand why those rules are there, but the goal here is not to create a feeling of deprivation that someone can use as a weapon against your child later on. The goal is to create a sense of, I know that if I need anything, my parents will give to me. And so whatever anybody else is offering, all of a sudden just doesn't feel like it makes any sense. All right. So you want to make sure that you create a feeling of, your kids knowing that they trust that you don't deprive them of anything. You may not give them for whatever reasons, but trust me, kids sometimes understand. Sometimes we teach our kids about, no, we're not eating out, or we're not buying pizza today because it's out of the budget. We have those kind of conversations, but they don't feel deprived because they know that there are times that we do it even without them asking, and there's a difference there. So don't let your kids feel deprived of things that they love, so that it doesn't become a weapon in the hands of someone, to lure them into abuse. I'd like to assume that, you understand that this is definitely not an exhaustive list. Trust me, I can go on and on about things, but I just kind of figured that, of all the things that you can talk about, it probably would fall within the 7 broad categories. So there's your 7 tips for you to protect your kids from child sexual abuse. Bonus tip to all my faith friends, always pray for your kids. that they will be guided, and that the people that they come in contact with will not feel the need to do them wrong, but to do them right, and to help them and not do them any evil. Okay. And also listen to your guts. If you feel like something is wrong, it probably is. Listen to it and get to the root of it, and thank me later. So the easiest way really to keep kids safe is to talk about these things with them and teach them. It's not going to be a one-time conversation. No, it's going to be an ongoing conversation that would also change. The presentation of it will change as they grow older. So if you have found this video useful, please like, share, subscribe, and do not forget to hit the bell notification so you know whenever there's a new video, and share with family and friends too, because these are things that everybody needs to be aware of. It is our job to protect the innocence of our kids, and I do hope that you join me on this journey to undo the culture of silence. Thank you for watching. Take care.